Ah, yes, it is that time again. It's Wednesday. It's noon Eastern time. That means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Of course, video, live, on demand, whatever you need. Hemptation's Beach Facebook page if you prefer Facebook. Of course, YouTube, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel. We're also on Twitter at Hemptations. Of course, the podcast, the audio version, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Podbean. There's no device in this world, unless you're on some sort of Razor flip phone or something, and you can't get the show on, so there's no excuse. I am Joe Clare. He is Beach, high above the Hemptations in Sharonville. Beach, how are things in the mighty hemp quarters this day?
Oakley dokley, I should say.
I think that's
Yes,
copyrighted.
that might be. That might
You
be.
can't use that.
I am not getting paid for this, so I just said that for free. I might get a cease and desist letter telling me not to use that anymore. But no, things are. It's the middle of February. It's kind of that blah time of year. I will say we got quite a bit going on in the hemp news when we get to it. The only real local, well, the Hemptations news to us, we can show this picture of this is my niece's car. This is the car that we are sponsoring or help sponsor. They are driving this vehicle from France all the way down to, I think, North Africa somewhere. I should know more. You can see our Hemptations there on the front bumper. We are also on the other side, so you can't miss us if you're on the side of the road and you're waiting for this race. This race is, you have to be a college student in France to do this. You have to use this type of vehicle. It's the only
Wow.
type of vehicle that you can use. Supposedly, and one of the reasons is because over there's like millions of these cars. They were, and it's actually from the 70s, I think, or the 80s, and they haven't made it. They don't make any new ones, but there's so many old ones that once again they do this race every year. The vehicles don't go, I believe I heard they don't go any faster than like 55 miles an hour anyway. But she's got a partner. We're helping her on her way. The race officially started this week. And so this is them on the road, making their way south.
Nice.
I'll have more details. I think they'll be close to the finish by next week's show. It takes, I think, a week is something like that to do it, because again, they're not going very fast, and it's not, and it's safe. They're trying to be safe. They're not really out there trying to be crazy with the racing. I think it's as much for fun as it is for competition. But I think if I remember, like 1,600 kids participating in this race, and it's every year. They do it every year, and so they're on the road in the Hemptation sponsored vehicle. We wish them luck and safety as they move on. So that's about all the local stuff. We'll jump right into the product spotlight for this week. That's right, 4 from the store, 1 from my door. The first one are wallets. That's just kind of a generic pick of the wallets. Some of the wallets, the selection that we have in at the Sharonville location where I sit high above. And they range anywhere from probably $16, $20 or so, bifolds, trifolds, and whatnot. And so next time you're looking for a new wallet, know that we've got a pretty good selection of those. The next one is the Natalie's Hemp Bars. And I know I've mentioned these before, but we just got a fresh batch in. And so if you've ever had one of these Natalie's bars, you know how good they are. I tend to love them and have them as a snack quite often, especially when we get them in fresh. So get into any one of the locations and try one of the Natalie's granola bars with hemp. The next one is the Earthly Body. I've been talking a lot about Earthly Body products recently. We've been carrying Earthly Body for a long time. This is just the Naked in the Woods scent. I don't really know what that smells like, in all honesty. But if you ever want to feel like, smell like you're naked in the woods, you've got lotion, shower gel, some body mist. And again, should be on all the shelves at all the locations, all the Hemptations, and hopefully maybe soon. I keep saying it on our online website where we do have some products, just not a whole lot. I need to dedicate some more time to that. And the last one are the Kentucky dogs. Uh, these things are absolutely delicious. I will say that. As you can see, they're Kentucky proud. So that's Kentucky raised beef, that's Kentucky raised pork, and that is also Kentucky grown hemp. They're getting some of that 4% non CBD hemp out of Kentucky. uh, Last week I mentioned that we believe that 96, probably 96% of the hemp grown in Kentucky last year was for CBD. So this is obviously the 4% that wasn't. To add in the hemp seeds into the dogs, which are 100% delicious. If I could guarantee it, I would. And the last picture, I've been talking about this for a while. I finally finished my challenge, my hat challenge. Here is the final pick of the 161 hats that I wore over the period of 161 days. If I would have held in one more week, I would have gotten my half a year. Didn't realize how close. But I think if that math just doesn't quite add up. But if I almost had another week, I would have made 6 months, almost 6 months of wearing a different hemp hat every day. So I have mentioned before how much I love hats. Here is proof, because I have quite the hemp hat collection. And each one of those hats touched my head in the last 6 months or so. So we're done. If you want to take the challenge, go ahead and start. Tell me how many days you can get wearing a different hemp hat every day. I am now currently in the month and a half. I started at the beginning of the year a different shirt a day for as long as I can go doing that. And so I'm guessing this is about day 40 something ish, 50 something ish or so on the hats. And so there you have it. That's our product spotlight. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, which actually turned out to be 161. And now, I'm like speeding to get to this because we know how much you love it, folks. We sure do.
People who are just tuning in, they're wondering, well, something obviously is coming, something important is coming. And you may be able to guess already that it's hemp related and clothing related as well. It's simply the best thing on the internet. I know you think it may be cat videos or something like that, or, a monkey stealing somebody's cell phone and running off with it. But no, actually, the best thing on the internet, on any platform, is our beachwear segment. We ask the most important question ever. What are you wearing today, Beach?
That's right. If you woke up today, or maybe just since last Wednesday, you're saying, I really want to know what he's going to be wearing next Wednesday. Now you will know. So from head to toe, the wait is over. What are you wearing, Beach? Toe, I've got my heads. If you look closely, that does not say reds. It says heads. And that actually, the hat that I have on actually glows in the dark.
Wow.
So that was some fun glow in the dark material we were working with before. And so that's fun. My jacket is Smith Center. Smith Center made. I have, back in the day. I meant to go check the last time I wore this jacket to see if they still exist. I think they may. I don't know if they make a whole lot of stuff out of hemp anymore. But this is a nice, not heavy, not light, kind of in between jacket. We've got my hemp hoodlam tee. I love my hemp hoodlam stuff. Hemptopia briefs. You can find those online, I believe, at Amazon. Hempy's corduroy pants. I was feeling corduroy-ish. It's maybe one of the only pairs of corduroy pants that I own. You can also see in my pocket there my Green Spring Technology pen, which I carry everywhere with me, just about everywhere I go. And I've got my Kind socks. We've got those in the store in multiple different colors. And a pair of Adidas So if you woke up this morning saying, I wonder what beaches were, now you know.
Now
You
you
can almost
can
guess it's going to be
go on with
it's
your
going to
day.
start with a hat. I'm going to go start with. It's true. It's true. Quite a bit of news going on around the world this week in hemp. I think as we keep moving, I really am starting to see more news about things, which is great. The first thing is actually a product, and this is a product. It's actually homemade dog food. It's called. I just posted on the Hemptation's Beach Facebook page. This is actually a college buddy of mine, and he came to me months ago or so, and he was really interested in whether dogs could benefit from the nutritional value of hemp seed. I told him that they would immensely because of the protein. If you're gonna, it's one of the best protein sources out there for a vegetarian, vegan, or if you're going to use a grain in a dog food. So he has released his homemade dog food. Again, you can go to Gemelli.com. It's Jemelli and check that out. It's human grade quality, and so I like that idea. We wouldn't feed our dog and that I wouldn't eat. I don't eat our dog's food, but if I had to, if there was an emergency, birds were thin. I wouldn't feel bad crunching a little.
For those of you watching, we are getting a
So
little bit of glitching from
man,
Beach's end.
yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, but hopefully it clears up the the
Oh
airwaves, if
man,
you will, between myself and Beach. I'm not sure what's causing it.
still hear me?
I
No,
see
you
there's
can't.
less movement, but I can hear you more. But there's still glitching in the audio as well. I'm not quite sure
Interesting.
what to do about it.
Uh,
It's quite annoying.
I was having well, here, and I thought I was having fan issues.
Oh, now it's
Uh,
horrible.
uh, now it's horrible.
I'm not sure. Something from everything looks good here. I don't know if it's something coming from your end. It's,
I think it's definitely my end. She show. Oh man. Let's try something.
technical issues. This is part of the fun and the character of the High Noon Hemp Show. Really, all endeavors like this end up with a lot of, as we see Frozen Beach there next to me, a lot of technical issues. It's one of my pet peeves, obviously, because this technology and all this stuff is amazing, and everything we can do is amazing. We can produce basically a TV show, me sitting here, Beach of the Hemptations in Sharonville, but then when things go wrong and the connection is severed, or something unfortunate happens, then you have this. You have moving me and Frozen Beach, and Beach. There we go. Beach is back
Okay, I logged out and logged back in, so I could be my computer, folks. I do
now.
apologize.
Now it sounds perfect.
All right, great. Well, we'll go as long as we can, and
There we go.
hopefully the glitch is done.
Yes.
It looks like Doug Fine, his new book is coming out. They're taking pre-sales at tatteredcover.com. The new book is called American Hemp Farmer Adventures and Misadventures in the Cannabis Trade. And Doug has been running around the country for 3-4 years now, doing his part to educate people on industrial. It's his newest book. We have here's another new company, some cool things. This company is called Restock, and they have developed cannabis pulp to introduce to the non-wood pulp market. And so on their website, restock.org, they have what looks like packaging, which would be awesome. I'm going to get in touch with them and see. Looks like packaging made out of hemp, and then they showed in its raw form, and they're doing, I believe, is taking it to the point where it can easily be turned into paper. And so hopefully paper company can just take this product and, use it instead of whatever they're currently using as well, to make, whatever kind of paper. But they did have little boxes and stuff on there. So good for them. I love the idea of hemp packaging. It's something that, whether it's a composite, plastic-like material or paper packaging, it should all be replaced with hemp where we can. There is no doubt about that. There's some state bills out there right now. If you're in Iowa, HSB 646, you learn about what it is. It's not the worst one, but I do believe it definitely has something. They're going to do something weird with CBD with it, I believe, which is most of these bills, which is really weird. Again, that's Iowa. In Iowa, it's HSB 646. Read it. If you're in Iowa, find out what you think is wrong with it. Get a hold of your legislators and tell them that they're wrong. Maryland, HB 1506. This is another one which is going to affect the CBD market in Maryland quite heavily, I believe. And so if you're in the CBD market, you're interested in the CBD market, you don't want the CBD market to go away in Maryland, again, get a hold of your legislators, learn what exactly HB 1506 is, and get a hold of your legislators and tell them that you're against it. And they don't need to be any more intrusive about industrial hemp. If they need to pass an industrial hemp law, which I'm almost sure all these states are industrial hemp legal, what's going backwards now is everybody's legalizing for industrial hemp, and then the CBD thing becomes a controversy for no reason. Shouldn't be a reason. And the legislators think they need to wrangle it in for some reason, which is absurd. New Hampshire's doing the same thing. New Hampshire has New Hampshire's bill is 1581. And I believe New Hampshire's trying to do the same thing that Maine did, and that is that you could only sell CBD if it was grown, processed, and manufactured in the state. And so, I guess that's great for anyone that might already be doing that in New Hampshire. But on the other hand, that's just a ridiculous idea to keep other products that have been out and doing their thing out of the state. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. They're saying that the market is okay, but they're denying the market for products that are made in 49 other states or across the world.
Yeah.
Which is, again, that's absurd. And I understand protecting the people of New Hampshire, protecting the people of hemp. They want to grow hemp. That ensures that because the demand, the supply will need to be there because the demand is there. I can almost guarantee you that. But it's really unfair to the consumer because I'm sure that they can go online. How are they going to stop people from going online and ordering it online? Which makes no sense. There is no way to make someone a criminal because they want to order their CBD online. Or maybe they bought their CBD in some other state and they're bringing it back. Again, it's just a ridiculous principle all in all to have such control of the market in one state and it be so closed. So if you live in any of those states, get with your legislators, check out those bills. If you're with me and you disagree with them, then get with your legislators. Let them know you live in this state and you don't agree with what they're doing. Oh, here's an interesting website. These guys are selling seeds and advising farmers on how to shift to hemp. It's called cloneconnect.org. cloneconnect.org. And I'll get these websites and these contacts out there for all this stuff on the website. If you go to hemptations.com, as you know, the first page has events and information relating to us specifically. The second page is where I put the events or information links and whatnot, websites, information for some of these products that I'm talking about that we don't carry, or any of the events that I talk about. So if I mention an event here, I try to, within a day or two of the show, add it to the list of events on the second page of the website at hemptations.com. So enjoy that at your leisure. Well, it looks like the UK's, the United Kingdom's first cannabis restaurant has opened up and been shut down. It was called Canna Kitchen. And again, it was the UK's first CBD restaurant, and it has been closed by the police just recently, I guess. I don't know if they've ever brought any charges on anyone. They were saying that they were distributing cannabis, and that was illegal. And so obviously there's still some legalities in the UK that they need to work out. Keeping the streets safe from CBD food. Don't you dare eat with CBD in it. And so, we'll see what kind of comes out of that. And if we hear, I feel like there's going to be more places opening up. Part of the story was kind of confusing because part of the story almost made it sound like one of the reasons why they closed him down is because he didn't have the right permit. He was a retail shop, and then he made it a restaurant, but he didn't change the licensing from retail to restaurant. But I don't think that's, again, they were threatening to charge them, I believe, with cannabis distribution. Wow. And so obviously all cannabis, including CBD cannabis, industrial hemp, which is, I'm pretty sure I got to look into it, but I think they grow industrial hemp in the United Kingdom. I'm not positive on that one. Most of Europe does, but I don't know if the United Kingdom actually grows hemp. I know they just built a nice house out of it over there. So I will check into that a little bit and see. I think I sent this picture of the Hemp Art. Did you get that? Did I send that? You did? Mm-hmm. Here it is. This is art by John Patterson. John Patterson is one of the foremost, probably, United States users of hemp in building material. That he does lectures and presentations and workshops and all that stuff when it comes to building with industrial hemp. This is just a little piece of art that he made out of some of the byproducts when it comes to that. On Facebook, he's John Patterson, and he is offering 20% off any commissioned work until the end of February. I don't know that he has a website. I might have to look into that. I find it hard to believe he doesn't. But if I'm curious as to what a piece of this hemp art would be. But it's awfully neat, as far as art goes. Hemp makes good art too, and it's good commissioned work. So I'd have him make it, hemptations and leaf and all that good stuff. Maybe. There you go. So if you're interested in something like that, get a hold of John Patterson and get yourself some hemp art. All right, we got a little bit of events to get through here for the rest of February. We'll get you guys on your hemp day. Tomorrow is What the Hemp in Boston. And again, this is John Vorjak, foremost educator, knowledgeable on all things hemp. So if you're in the Boston area and you're available tomorrow, go check out What the Hemp and get some hemp knowledge dropped on you. February 20th through the 22nd, which is actually this weekend. I assume that if you aren't already in Poland, you need to get on a plane now. But they will be doing a Hempcrete construction theory and practice at the Hemp Today Center in Naoko, Poland. So enjoy Poland if you're already over there. I don't know what time it is in Poland, but if you're not watching the show live, you watch it later, enjoy it. February 24th through the 25th, you have in Danville, Virginia, the Industrial Hemp Conference going on. Also February 24th and 25th, the Central U.S. Hemp Growers Conference and Expo at the Mayo Civic Center in Rochester, Maine, I believe that is. I need to get my, Look at Sam MN. What's the state? I should know that.
Oh,
It seems
Minnesota.
like it should be Maine, Minnesota,
Yeah.
Rochester, Minnesota. Thank you for knowing that.
Yes. Maine
Every
is
time I look
ME.
at that, I think Maine. There you go. Man, that guy, he's like a state abbreviation savant.
Yes, I actually know all of them.
Good job.
The postal codes.
Yes. Nice. Good. Well, now I know I don't need to know because my partner in crime over there, the voice you're hearing
Very
in your
niche
ear,
information.
knows all of the state abbreviations. I should know more. I should be better at that, but I don't need to now because of him.
Right.
February 28th through March 1st, you've got the National Hemp Expo over in Louisville, not too far from us here in Cincinnati, over in Louisville, Kentucky. This is the second year for this event. Last year went over quite well, from my understanding, and so that might be something to check out if you're in Kentucky or Louisville area, Indiana, Illinois, any of those states. Let's see here, ending out the month. February 29th is Hemp Boot Camp. And there are multiple hemp boot camps that are going to be happening across the country, from my understanding. This one is in Des Moines, Iowa. Be a good place to go if you're in Iowa, to gather some people and let them know about this HSB 646 in Iowa, and see if you can't do something about that with the people in Iowa. You can go to hempbootcamps.com for more information on that and some of the other locations of the Hemp Boot Camp. The last event here is the one in Kentucky, which I don't really have. I need to look into more and get some dates and whatnot. But the Future of Fashion 2020 is going to be going on, I believe, in Lexington. I need to double check that. But part of the Future of Fashion 2020 is going to include the Sarah Jane Estes Design Competition. And you have to use material that has 60% hemp or greater to compete in this competition. $1,000 grand prize. You will also get a feature in Sophisticated Living magazine. So if you are a designer, maybe just for fun, maybe not, and if you worked with hemp or want to work with hemp, you better get yourself some material and start working now, because it's probably only about a month away. And I'll try to get the dates on that more. They were kind of vague, the information I've gotten so far, and so I will get some more dates on that as soon as I can. And then, of course, we don't forget the end of March. You probably want to start planning for this now, because it is for sure worth the trip. I don't care where you're coming from. You should fly in from Europe. If you're in the hemp industry there, maybe you're in the hemp business in China, because in all honesty, Naoko, this is the 7th year of Naoko. This is the largest hemp gathering, expo, retail, workshops. I mean, they a little bit of everything. Fashion show, a little bit of everything goes on at Naoko. Hello. So that was a shout out to Naoko in the background. This is in Denver. They've moved it from a little bit north. It was a little bit north of Denver previous, but they have moved it to Denver because it has gotten so big. And so once again, it is a lot of CBD, but there's fiber, there's construction guys, there's composite people. Excuse me. There is literally a little bit of everything that happens at Naoko, and so it is the one thing that's definitely worth buying a trip. It's in Denver, very kind city, so I mean, well worth traveling to if something like that catches your eye. And you really want to, I mean, again, you want to learn, you want to see, you want to touch, you want to feel, you want to, just get as surrounded by hemp as you can, Naoko is the best place to do that. We went the second year. I believe it was the second year, second or third year. And it was, even then, and it was still kind of in an infancy, but it was still pretty big. It was still pretty big, in all honesty. And so now they're really just blowing it up, moving it to Denver, more space, more opportunity to include more people. Again, they do panels, fashion show. There's booths everywhere. The products you can buy, products you can see. Wholesale, retail, all of that. And so, if you're really in any type of hemp industry, farming to retail, Naoko is a great place to go and and check it all out. In all honesty, it's usually something kind of last minute if we do decide to go, but it is one of those events that I still feel like I would benefit from going from. I've been in this business for 24 years, and obviously I don't have all the connections. I don't have all the knowledge that exists, and I don't go to a lot of shows because they're just not big enough, or I probably do know most of what's going on. But Naoko is one of those hemp shows where, I think about going every year because I know I'm going to see something new. I'm going to talk to somebody different, and all those aspects. And so we'll see. Maybe I'll do it live. If I do go, maybe I'll do a live broadcast from Naoko. I know Coach Freddie is usually there. Doug Fine, I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm sure he'll be there. They are releasing his book at Naoko. And so that's why it's a pre-sale right now, because you can't get a copy of it until Naoko. That'll be the first availability of Doug's new book. I know there's going to be new guitars. I've been seeing a lot of pics of new guitars and amps made of hemp, speakers made of hemp. And so, that is always fun. I've always wanted to do that. There are hemp speakers on eBay. It's the cone. They make the cone of the speaker out of hemp. And so, then you just need the wood, which I already have. But these guys are putting them together production-wise. They looked beautiful, the pic I saw of them. And so, again, there's, they're Morris, who is, Morris Beagle, if you don't know, he is, I believe, the original organizer, and he is always coming up with some cool hemp stuff, product-wise. And so he's behind the guitars and the amps, and I love the fact that, he's striving to put products out there that aren't CBD. As much as I admire anyone right now that is trying to put hemp products out there that isn't CBD, because we have enough CBD products. I'm telling you, folks, we have enough CBD products on the planet right now that we don't necessarily need more. But if you're interested in growing industrial hemp or using industrial hemp, there's thousands and thousands and thousands, I'll say it again, thousands of other products that can be made that are non-CBD. And so I implore people at this point, and again, that's a struggle, but here's the deal. The CBD boom is done. I'm calling it. It was this year, it was last year, to be honest with you. Last year's crops was the boom. This year, I think people are going to be a little bit more careful. I think last year was we're going to get all kinds of money for growing industrial hemp CBD, so we're going to grow industrial hemp CBD, and now the supply is huge. It's huge. And so obviously that's going to drive prices down, which is great. But I really think that people are going to have to think longer as far as farmers go, as to whether they really want to grow industrial hemp for CBD or they want to grow it for grain, which to me is, I guess, consciously beneficial, because the grain is the food. The grain is the fuel. And then, of course, you can use those plants, any of those plants, whether you grow for CBD, don't get me wrong, whether you grow for CBD or um, any other, or grain, I should say, grain, you can still use that stalk for construction material, for wood pulp, so to speak, to make paper out of, or build houses out of, or use as insulation. To the clothing, the fiber is still in there, and that's two different products. The fiber is broken down from what they call the hurd or the bast, which is the little chips that you see often of hemp that are associated with the construction materials. We have cat litter using that material. We have mulch. In the past, I have mulched with that material, and so that's a byproduct. No matter what you're going, if you're going from the flower up, so to speak, or which contains the seed or doesn't, contains the CBD or contains the seed, depending on what you're growing for. You still have a whole plant, whole stalk there that is viable biomass. And we're seeing a lot more people take on that biomass, just like Restock, taking on that biomass and putting it to good use. If they're going to make paper, that's less paper from trees if they're making paper out of it. That now is the goal for me. We've legalized industrial hemp. The next hurdle is getting over the 0.3%. Eventually we get rid of that. But now, I need to go back to my original, what do I want to say, preaching, I suppose, from, 25 years ago, 24 years ago, we opened up, and we need more people to grow for fiber. We need more people to grow for food. The CBD boom has come. It's come. I'm not saying there's not going to be a lot of CBD grown in 2020, but people are going to have to be more logical. And here's the deal: we're seeing CBD added to everything, literally everything, and so of course there's going to be a market for it. Eventually, this is going to take the FDA to quit saying we can't put it in foods. We just can't give it any dietary restrictions or tell you what it is dietary. If the FDA would approve it, if we can get CBD approved by the FDA as GRAS, genuinely regarded as safe, that's what GRAS means. But if we can get and it should be, because it is actually just a hemp food product, all in all, because it really is a hemp food product. If we can get oil from the seed and that's a hemp food product, why can't we get oil from the flower and that's a hemp food product? Come on. And so, I think that's the next big thing. The FDA figures out that it is safe, whatever they got to do to say that it is safe for food products. And then, again, it's going to be, everybody's going to want to put it in their beverages. Everyone's going to want to put it in their food product, just to add it as an extra little supplement. And so we'll see, but that's coming next. But that still means, we got to figure out honestly what we do with 2019's crops, because there's a lot of it out there. And so, 2020, I think we wrangle it in. And again, hopefully we see more farming on the fiber or the grain side of it, and go from there. I don't know if there'll be any less CBD grown, but I hope there's not more. And it's the same advice we've been giving people for a while now. You really should have a plan. Either have a source that you're going to sell it to, or whatever, or have a plan for it. But don't just grow it at this point now because everybody's using it and everybody needs it and everybody blah blah blah. Because there's a lot of it out there. There's a lot of it out there. And so 2020 is going to be interesting to see. We can grow in Ohio. I don't know of anyone in Ohio that's going to pay the licensing fees and all that gobbledygook that wouldn't grow CBD. Because, if you're growing for the grain, it's just ridiculous to have to jump through all those hoops to grow hemp for the food product. That is one of the highly nutritious food products on the entire planet. it's ridiculous to hold the farmer so monetarily I don't, hold the monetary over their head to grow what is possibly one of the greatest natural food products on the planet. It's just so silly. I can kind of get the CBD because the state says, well, look how much money's being made. Well, we want some of that. And so I can almost understand if you decided you wanted to grow for CBD, why that might be a different licensing, why that might be a different testing. But if you were growing for the grain, if you're going to grow for the grain, there's zero reason why you got to pay those fees in Ohio. Zero reason why you even really got to go through all that testing. Other than, once again, there's no THC in the seed. There's no CBD in the seed. As far as I know, what's in the seed is protein, vitamins, minerals, omega-6, omega-3. That's what's in the seed. There's no THC in the seed. Scientifically proven. I'm almost positive of that, which means I don't believe there's any CBD. I don't know if there's any cannabinoids that are in the seed. The cannabinoids are developed in the flower, pure and simple. So it takes the nutrients from the ground, and the cannabinoids are made in the flower. Now, some of that might be on the surface of the seeds if you have seeds in that flower. But if the seeds are cleaned or shooken, which is what a lot of seeds are done, they shake them really good to get microparticles, whether it's pesticides or any kind of crap. They try to get that, they shake it, and that removes any debris that's not seed. And that, there may be the tiniest of tiniest THC molecules. It might be the tiniest of tiniest CBD molecules. But in no way is it enough to make a difference, whether that's if you're worried about a drug test or if you're worried about getting high. Either way, you trace tiny. And again, it's a certain amount per million whatevers, or and again, there is an acceptable amount of THC, and it might be, again, like 7 parts per million, which is a tiny. And if you know anything about food, you can cockroach or feet. There's a certain amount of everything that is allowable, regardless of how small it may be. Maybe it's 1 part per million, but it's still allowed to be in there. And that's what we had to do with the hemp food thing years and years ago. Is we say, well, you can't say 0 THC. That's just, if you don't say 0 fecal matter or 0 insect or 0 pesticides or 0 insecticides on the food product when it goes to the shelf, then you surely can't say 0 THC. There is an allowable amount of just about everything. There's an allowable amount of arsenic in our water. And so it's quite ridiculous to judge hemp grain by some, minuscule amount of something that may be on the outside of it. And so with that, folks, I hope I've encouraged some of you to look into growing for fiber, grain, whatnot. And we'll go from there. We've still got some time. And we'll see what happens with, again, 2020's crops. I am Beach. That is Joe. This has been the High Noon Hemp Show. We are done for today. We'll get you back doing your thing wherever your thing be done. Or maybe you're watching later and you're just relaxing to the smooth sounds of Beach's hemp voice. And remember, folks, reduce, reuse, recycle. Make everything else out of hemp. Having Hemptations.
See y'all next week.
Peace.